Yeah. Walked a little bit. I think I got almost a mile in. I'm not sure. I'd like to get my 8 miles a day, but we'll see. But I've been Friday and Saturday, went on these little hiking trails with my son, and it's pretty cool. And walking in the woods, and it's like 43 degrees, so, I probably need to be trimming my beard. They got to work tomorrow. It's probably what I need to be doing. But anyway, just enjoying the woods, and I was thinking, you know, looking at these little, I need to get in better shape. I'm better than I was, but I need to get like better than I am. But I wouldn't mind being like a little forest ranger. I don't know what it requires, but I think it'd be cool just to get up and go out in the woods and be able to take care of the woods. You know, my job is pretty easy right now, almost too easy, really boring. And I've really been thinking a lot. I've had a lot of time to think and about nothing, and it's just boring. And it's okay, but it's just boring, you know. And it served its purpose, I think. I've been there over 3 months. But, there's a 401k, but there's no match, and there's no insurance, or if it's very high, like 160 something a week or 65 a week, depending on what you get. And then there's a high deductible, so it's ridiculous. And the forest ranger is with the state, so you get state retirement. But I had a year of state, and then I just cashed it out to throw it in the Roth IRA. So it ain't much. I think if I'd worked where I was at, based on your pay and your service, because I'm old, 8 years or 10 years, all I'd got is like $400 a month. It's better than nothing, but that's 10% of your pay till you retire, and you got to be there 8 years to qualify, and you can buy an extra 5 years. I might not even feel like working outside and that many years, but who knows? Probably have a full white beard, and there'll be a lot of young folks coming in, that type of work. So I'd have to take care of myself. You hear that? That's not my chicken. Somebody else got chicken. You hear, so everybody's raising their own chickens, or pets, however you look at it. But going on these trails, and that thing that lady told me about that I met yesterday when me and my son, she told me about AllTrails. You can pay to get extra stuff, but you can also get the free version. And it has a lot of trails that ain't even listed with the state parks. So I'd like to keep walking the trails. And even if I'm working, I'd like to get my exercise in. Because I don't think they don't have gyms and all that I know of at Forest Ranger, but it'll be kind of cool. But, I got to make sure my kid's okay too, so I can't be away from them because they need my guidance. But yeah, just trying to enjoy the woods and walking a little bit before I took my son, and kicking a couple of toys out of the path and a bunch of sticks and everything. And with the leaves down, the woods are revealing the lost treasures, because you can see all kind of stuff that's like, where did that come from? But it's been here. You just didn't see it when all the green was here. So that's going to be cool. If I go walking every weekend, or if it's not raining, or every other weekend, and you see how it looks without the leaves, and then you got to go in there with the mosquitoes, and it might be animals and more people because it'll be warmer. And then, you had to start wearing bug spray, I guess. But it'll be beautiful. And it's beautiful without the trees, and it's beautiful with the trees to me. So it's just I've always felt that way. I've never pursued it. It used to be harder. They were talking about one time having like bachelors in biology and all this stuff. So now, since the pay's not that good, I guess they guy told me a business degree. I said I got one of them, and I got electronics engineering degree, 2-year degree, and heating and air. I don't know how to do it, but I got it. I know it a little bit, and then you got the CDL. I got all this stuff. It's just, but what do you do? What do you feel like doing? I don't want to just sit there and look, all day. So it would be cool. Would be cool. I liked my last job. I just wasn't my awareness, I guess. Certain things that I thought wouldn't come up and didn't respond well to it. So other people didn't think about it either, and it was a big issue. So if the job ain't like that, where I'm at, I'm safe because ain't nothing to do. So I might just need to stay there, and I can come home and walk. And then, I started like September the 30th, and I've lost a little bit because, I don't eat the old greasy free food I used to get. But it took me 2 months working there because I'd walk, but I had my phone, so I was walking my other job, but I didn't know how far I was walking. But now I started walking when I get off work, and I got off my blood pressure medicine. So I'm off all my medicine. So it's probably stress, walking and eating better and lose a little bit. But, if I get a job where I'm more stressed out, well, I had to go back on all the medicine I was off. So, that's the job I got now is gold as far as health-wise, because I feel better and I'm getting better, and which is strange. I'm blessed because usually the older you get, the closer you go to the can't do nothing. And the preacher was talking about today, everybody becoming less and putting Jesus more. And he said there's a lot of people, be thankful for what you got. A lot of people he's went to, they're in the bed, and, it's not long before they go home. But they're in the bed, and they just said, I wish I could just walk. I wish I could just walk and get out of that bed. So walking is probably one of the best things for you, because you be able to move from this spot to that spot is huge, without having to do a wheelchair or have somebody do it for you, or you just laying there and can't do nothing. We're meant to move, and it's rough when you can't. You got ailments, or, your spine, and then, all this stuff. So it's hard to resist the commercialized food, and it's bad for you. A lot of stuff we got in our country, is bad for you. But I guess you have to do that to preserve it, or I don't know. Or they do it to make you hooked on it. We get out here and walk. I got my coffee. My son drinking all his caffeine. I'm like, good gracious. I'd have a heart attack if I had that much caffeine. He sounds like a military man. When they're on a 24-hour watch and they drink a Monster about every 2 hours, he's almost like that. I'm like, that can't be good for you. I think one of them things would mess me up for about 6 hours. But, I guess you build a tolerance to it. But, whew, they shouldn't make them things if they're that dangerous. Because if they make it and it's legal, we're going to buy it. Just like a lot of these drugs that we used to have used to be legal. And then, I don't know if the wrong people were making money on it, or they said it was bad, and then they made it illegal, and now they're starting to make it legal again. Who knows? Just get out, enjoy walking, if you can, or whatever you want to do, enjoy it, as long as it don't hurt nobody, and because, this time's precious. We don't have much of it, and being able to move around the time that you have is really cool. So, if anybody thinks about it, they think I'd be a good forest ranger, let me know. If not, Tell me I just need to chill out and walk around the woods and be a forest ranger at my own house. Maybe that's what I need to do. But I thought it'd be cool. They even got maintenance jobs. I said, well, what's the maintenance job like? And then they even got one of them electronic billboard things on the street, and it said apply within. And I said, is this application good at all the parks? No, it's just here. And I said, well, what jobs they hiring for? Well, we had the golf shop, and we got this area, the canteen area, and then we got maintenance people, we got cleaning people. And I said, what job you hiring for? Well, I don't know. They just put in for it. Put in for what you want to put in for, and if they're hiring for that, they'll call you. I'm like, well, I'd like to have an idea what I'm putting in for. And it's a long way away too, so you got to think about that. I think that one, it's nice, but it's like 47 miles one way. So it's not really feasible driving if they're only going to pay you like $10 an hour, $12 an hour. And don't want to do that. It only takes me a little bit less than maybe 20, 23 minutes to get to work right now. So it's not bad, even in my end of life car, but I'd probably just need to chill out. Just chill out. It's like you got too much time on your hands. And you got ADHD. That's what I do. See right here, I didn't hear no cows, but I did see some deer. There's about 3 to 5 deer yesterday. And I said, that's cool. We went and played a game of pool. I won, as usual. And don't mean to. It's just my competitor runs out of steam by the time we play pool. He don't have no gas. So he can't make nothing in. He's like, I ain't gonna do any good, so I ain't even gonna try. So he just hits the balls around the table and just tries to make my shots harder. Then I'll just hit his ball, knock it out of the way on my turn, and then there we go. Or I'll knock the 8-ball in on accident. But I enjoy it. I'd like to play more, but so what do you do? What do you do? It's like if you had a table, pay all that money to get a table in your house, but then you only pay $1, and then you pay maybe 15, maybe 30 games in a year. It ain't really worth it to buy a table, because that's a lifetime worth of 2 or 3 lifetimes. And if somebody comes over and tears it up, then you're out of that, and you only add $30 plus the gas and all that, and the pool stick to go somewhere. And usually the tables are pretty good, so you don't have to worry about tearing them up. But if you have one in your house, it'll probably get tore up. So just trying to chill out, think about what I want to do. I know I need to go on the hikes. That'd be cool. Just go hiking and seeing all this stuff. If I can do it, I drag my feet. I'll be about to trip over the roots. And in my tennis shoes, them little sticks you step on, man, you step on one of them sticks, it feels like it's going through your foot, because it's like somebody beating your feet. But if you wear my boots, at least me, if I wear my boots, I got that harder sole, so I can walk. But the boots hurt to wear, so I'm kind of still shaking, and I'm bad about being dehydrated, so I ache and all that. But anyway, it's just something to think about. I do think I would like that job though, and they got a maintenance job, but they, depending on where you are, some places older than others, so everything be tearing up, so you'd be working a lot, or you'd not be working. But who knows? So I got enough animals here. I got birds, and there's deer tracks. I don't see the deer too much because we're through here a lot. They got cows and squirrels and chicken, cats, little bitty tiny grandkids running around. Adult children, adult son-in-law. some old person in a beard that's turning white with can't read what his hat it says. The person that's talking right now, he runs around here all the time. No, I don't. Yeah, you do. No, I don't. See, he's even arguing with myself or himself. I'm not crazy. I just thought that was funny out here. But chilling out, and it's wild. All the leaves gone, and hopefully, they won't cut more trees down. I like to have a little bit of woods. I have to leave just to get the woods. And that other job seemed cool. It's like I got trees now. I had to video them every day so I can remember. I was there. I seen that tree, and then that tree, it fell over, and it was no more. Then he just cut the limbs off and the leg off so people can walk by it. And lots of people walk by and say, "Oh, look at that! They had to cut that tree for us to get by it." Yep. So enjoy life, enjoy the new year. Happy New Year. And, I know it's already past New Year's, but everybody's fixing to start work tomorrow. And most people that been off. So I didn't get but a few days off for Christmas and New Year's. I think I got 3 days, plus a weekend, but just 3 work days. So, it's all right. Just chilling out. Got to walk on two other trails beside my trail, and having a good time. Want to relax a little bit and smell the woods. Yeah, my wife passed. I couldn't really watch TV, and I was watching one show last night. It was dubbed, but my daughter and them had it, so I guess they got it. They played it on the TV. It's called Awareness, and it's pretty cool. It's about this guy who can use his eyes, and he can make people see things, and he was having to fight the other people, and his dad and his not dad and his real dad and his adopted dad and all kind of stuff. It's pretty good. 2023. But this other movie, I think it's called The Creator, and it's an old soldier, and he has like a mechanical arm he could just attach to his shoulder, just put it on there and it works, and everything's like high tech, but they have AI, and the AI people, the robots, you look at them this way, like where their ears are, and you see a big old hole going all the way through the head, and that's just showing that they're a robot, kind of, but they have the face of a person, and the AI, the humans are against the AI, and this soldier, he ends up the one who's supposed to destroy the humans from killing the AI, ends up being like part of him, and it's wild. But at the end, now it's just me. I'm a big softy, and my wife was on like couldn't breathe and all that before she passed, and just seeing this stuff at the end and feeling that love. They did such a good movie, The Creator, and just feeling the love of him losing and having that pain, and it just, oh man, I just started boohooing. and my daughter them asked me, said, "When did you watch that?" And I said, "Well, I just stayed in there, and it just played to the next movie. It had commercials, but I mean, I was just boohooing at the end. I was like, man, I said, this is why I don't watch TV." Because the other thing got me, the last one that got me was, I think it was a Chinese guy and his wife, and she started getting dementia or things didn't bother her, and he was like a taxi driver, I believe it was Chinese, and YouTube shows these movies, the little clips of the movies. That's how I found out about Awareness. The other one, The Creator, I just started watching, and his wife is sick, and then he ends up driving and does stuff that he shouldn't be doing, like kind of getting Alzheimer's or whatever. And so they're both they're both having trouble, and he was going to take the taxi and just, I guess, end it all, and ends up getting pulled over, and I don't know what happened, but man, that just made me boohoo. So I can't watch TV right now. You know, most movies, it seems like they're love stories, and they just deal with death, and whoo, I just can't do it. It's it's a lot. You know, I mean, I know my wife, she's in heaven, but just a lot of stuff that meant a lot to both of us that we shared. I I just can't. It's I can't say it died with her, but it's just the joy of it kind of lost its just seeing that this car pulling I see through the woods, so I'm nosy now. But I think he went on by as my neighbor. We only got one neighbor that lives down that way. But yeah, man, just seeing the joy of just the things of joy, like eating at Waffle House. We ate there all the time. And even though most of the people ain't there no more, I just can't go back in that Waffle House. Several restaurants we used to eat at, I can't go. So now I'm doing all this stuff. I had to find new stuff to make new habits because I just can't go down the. It's like kind of like you going down a trail, or you going to the same car or your same house, and it ain't the same. And it's been a joy having my daughter and them move in, because it's not the same as it was when my wife was here. I mean, it was like kryptonite. I couldn't even go in my wife's room, even when my son moved all the stuff out of my room, my spare room in there. Yeah, I just froze up. I couldn't do it. And when they moved in, they moved everything out. I wouldn't have been able to do that probably in 3 lifetimes, you know, even if I'd met somebody. And tried to date, but it's crazy. Just, you know, I don't know if that's part of it. I just can't, or people just crazy now, you know, and it's just crazy. But just trying to live life. Like I'm way 280.6, so I almost broke the 280, been forever. But, you know, like last January, I was at like almost 300, 301. I've lost like 20 pounds in a year. So if I can at least keep that up, or I'd like to lose more, maybe get down to 160 to 180, and hopefully my skin ain't too bad, because certain ways I move now, I got the old crinkle skin or whatever it is. So, you know, when I met my wife, I was like 220. So I said, well, that's probably it. I'm probably too big to meet anybody right now. Or I'm just in my own head, don't know any signals. Or the ladies that I'm talking to are crazy, or at my age, they're just the same way I am. They just, that part of them just turned off after that, you know. Things just, it like shuts off. But you still got to find the joy. And my little grandson, he's something else. And I love both of them, but one of them, you know, is just more like me. And Papa, 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 what? Papa. You know, it don't get on my nerves. It's just like, oh, look at that. He wants me. Yeah, boy. And, you know, I just thinking, and hopefully I didn't drive nobody crazy, and maybe it helped somebody. Y'all might have tied a bunch of people up y'all didn't like it and let them watch my videos, and now they're not the same. They done flipped out. using my channel as that's the only views I'm getting. They're using them as a torture device, you know. Watch these videos. Tell us the secrets now. No, I'll tell you. Turn it off. But yeah, let me upload this one and, you know, call it Sitting in the Woods. thinking about life or something. I don't know, thinking about being a forest ranger. But you know, your mind is wanting to do everything, but you got to think about your body. But like I said, man, I had narrowed the spine. My first and fourth vertebrae were bulging. Had sciatic nerve. That's all went away. I was on blood pressure, cholesterol, and I hadn't got a blood test, but I've been eating better, so it should be right. But I'll get a blood test anyway, or go get blood a couple times and get the free blood test. And the blood pressure was the last one I got off. So even though the sugar is a little bit high, but a neurologist told me as long as it's under 200, it don't cause damage. But it usually runs about 100 and 120, you know, sometimes 140 or 112 when I wake up. So to me, that's good enough for me not to be on medicine and get the side effects, because the side effects feels like it's worse than having the sugar. Maybe not, but you know, if you cut out the sugar, then you can do it on diet. So I guess I still consider myself a diabetic. I'm just a diet controlled diabetic instead of a pill controlled. And even when I was didn't have insurance for a while, and you know, I was able to take care of my wife, had a little job, but no insurance. I went to a free clinic. They said, well, you know, if you lose 30 pounds, you won't need all this medicine. I thought they was hogwash, because I lost like 40 and I still needed things. But then I changed what I was eating. And then, oh man, you know, and what's so cool, you know, I had the blood pressure medicine. It takes your wind from you, because you take it, you can do stuff, but it's like it's harder to do things because you get more winded, because it's messing with your blood flow. But then you get off of it and you do things, it's like you can come back to normal. It's like you don't get winded from when you're taking your blood pressure, it goes up and down, or, you know, it drops on you, just like sugar. You know, your sugar get all out of whack if you change things. So you have to, now that's our chickens now. Well, not my chickens no more. That's my daughter's chickens. One of them's a laying egg, you know. But yeah, sitting around thinking, driving the world crazy with my ideas, or me rambling on. And sorry if I ramble on too much. But out here, you know, getting a walking, all this blood flowing in my head. It's like, woo, you know, get natural awakeness, alertness, or awareness, kind of like the movie I seen, but not really. But sitting out here by this pink chair and by this tree that's hopefully he don't cut down. He's put some max marks in it, so hopefully it lasts a little bit longer. And you get old, you gotta take care of yourself. You know, it was my stupid fault I got on medicine because I was eating bad, and I gotta watch out my teeth. And then I wear this mouth guard on my top teeth. That keeps me, because I grind my teeth for some reason. I'm trying to eat while I'm sleeping, but I've wore the enamel off, so certain cold temperatures and all, you can feel it. And he said something about a root canal, which is like a lot of money. So my mouth's fixing to get expensive. So for 2 months, I started wearing my mouth guard, except for like 3 nights when I was too tired. Because, you know, you got to floss your teeth and brush them. And then I started using Axe and rinse around Axe to try to strengthen what's there. But I got about 15% of my teeth that probably no enamel from grinding. And they told me 10 years ago, and I was hard-headed. And don't be hard-headed, because if you do, you're gonna have to behave eventually. It's like, oh, I guess I gotta listen to that, you know. But so some things you learn and you try, and some things you can't do. But getting off the medicine, I've been monitoring it. I've been keeping up with it, so I trust the little monitoring devices, you know, and I feel pretty good. I don't have the headaches. My vision's not impaired or changing, or I'm not crashing, getting sleepy and all that. So, you know, trying to eat. I never really got full, but I'd get so full that I couldn't hold my food down. So I have to think about what I'm eating. Okay, I can only eat that much, that much, that much. Can't count the calories, so it's really rough on me. But I'd count like a group of foods. Say, okay, that's about how many calories I should have, or how much food I can eat that much. And I eat the same thing every day, pretty much. So that helps because like, okay, I can eat one of them, two of them, 2 cups of coffee or 4, or some chicken and broccoli. So that helps. I just eat the same thing. It don't bother me, except every now and then I get something nice. But yeah, Happy New Year, and thank you for listening to me ramble on, and hopefully it helps somebody. And tell you another thing, I did talk to a bunch of scammers, and I've deleted the app and installed it, deleted. I've deleted it again. I hadn't reinstalled it, but I've been wanting to see what's going on. But then there's nothing on there. But so I'm trying to get off that and go and walking instead. But somebody said, "Hey, this is Alina. Alice, what you doing?" And I said, "This ain't Alice. This is me. My name." And they said, "Oh, it's so good to meet a friend like this." Well, I knew it was probably not real, but I got tickled because I said they're talking to me, and I talked to them about 2 days, and we were sending pictures of food, and they sent me one of these fake pictures, and it said they were like a supermodel in Korea or something, you know, but they were really, really good at wording, and they could have been AI intelligence because those things are pretty good. Well, they said don't contact me this one or go to Telegram. So here we was talking and all this, and I said okay, but they were like California and did jewelry and oh, you're doing good. You eat the same diet I do and all this mess. It's probably AI. Well, the next day I got another message that said, "Hey, this is Atlanta. Hey, Alice, come over and we'll eat." And I was like, "Where are you located?" She said, or the person said, "I'm confused. Who is this?" So they were starting again from a different number, trying to do the same conversation. I said, "Oh man, I knew it wasn't real." But I was hoping, but I was like, daggone it. So I went ahead and deleted that app, blocked it, deleted that. And then today I got all kind of shared text message, and I felt sorry because it showed like 40 something other numbers that these people the same people probably doing it too. They just sitting at home thinking of ways to screw people over on things and probably using AI, an app to do it for them. They just say, make me an app to steal people's money and send it to these phone numbers. And if they respond, send it to that. Probably created that. And they should be illegal. Or either they're doing it on their own. But I blocked that, reported it spam. So yeah, you gotta be careful out here. Gotta be careful trying to live. But see right here, I just hear noise, cows. I think that's a bird, the chickens, fresh air. Ain't gotta worry about no stress. Gotta worry about nobody asking me nothing on the app. Just walk. I just got to keep from falling down and think if I want to do the forest ranger job. I think I'd like that instead of doing administrative work or sitting in an office all day. I know there's a little paperwork, but deal with a little bit of people, but most of them going to be camping. They ain't going to want to bother you anyway. They going to want to get out here and do the woods and fishing. They just got to make sure they're not being disorderly. So you might deal with some of that. But, beside that. But, we want everybody to enjoy it, nobody get hurt, and nobody drown, and have a good, safe time, and don't get no, leeches or fall in the water and whatever. But Happy New Year. Thank you for letting me ramble on, and hope it helps somebody. And you never know. Drink coffee, and if you put something in the closet, you might find it. I found a Bubba tumbler, 64 ounce, that my mom bought me probably within the last 10 years, I think. I was working, I know it's at least 2020, so it's probably maybe 10 years ago or 8 years ago. And I bought 2 that had a different lid, but so now I got 3. So I'm like, woohoo, woohoo. So, you know, sometimes if you keep something that's good, it can come in handy later on. Drive everybody crazy. But yeah, y'all have a good one. And thank y'all so much for watching.